Alright, it's time to get started on this Necchi, and this is a BU, model BU. I don't know much about it. Inside the lid, it's got some mildew, so we're going to have to spray that out and wipe it real good. There's also damage inside here. I don't know if somebody dripped a solvent in there or what. But I had this open long enough to identify it, and the pedal has had some work done on it, and they pried it apart the wrong way. So it's stretched out, the cover is. I don't think it moves properly. It just sort of feels weird. And at some point, the motor got a replacement wire or screw on it, and the motor light block here has come loose. It's got a light fixture that's removable, and somebody rewired it with a 3-prong plug. So the light fixture has never worked in the motor block, or has not worked in the motor block since they rewired it. And oh yeah, the finish is quite damaged around the needle plate here, but we'll have to see. Yeah, I'll have to do something about keeping that from continuing to flake. I don't know. I'll have to think about how to make that usable, because I'm not going to restore this, but I want this to be functional, and that means it can't be flaking black chunks of paint or finish into the work you're trying to do. So, but the other thing is, this case is very loose. So I'm gonna pop the machine out of it and get that. Oh yeah, this has been. That bar is completely loose in there. There's an extra light bulb in here. Who knows if that's any good? We're gonna start this by popping this machine completely out of the case and seeing about getting the case glued back up. So we've got something strong to work on. And then, oh, yeah. There. That definitely needs fixing before we can do much more on this machine. So, and the wiring, I found a cut there. This motor block should be attached inside the cabinet somewhere, or inside this box somewhere. So I'm going to look and see where that maybe had been. But I'm going to pop this off of here because this wiring is not in the greatest shape, and I guess if I'm already working on this, I'll work on the wiring too. So, alright, well, I guess step one, we'll get this box all glued up. Alright, so this is the base for that Necchi box, and I took the hinges out. And this part popped out when we took the machine out, and there was a tack here. This looks like a furniture tack, a real long furniture tack. There's also one on the other side of the case. So I'm guessing these are either original or they were installed together when somebody discovered this machine the case was coming apart. But that was nice looking. I'm going to keep this tack, put it back in, but this whole divider is loose. The spot where the block goes, that's supposed to be in this space. This wood block is supposed to be down in the space here. So I'm going to have to glue that in down in the bottom there. They used some kind of contact cement or other adhesive, not plain wood glue, and like somebody repaired this part with some contact cement or something because it's stuck here and wobbly. I'm going to use plain wood glue, and I'm probably going to go looking for yeah, and like this covering is coming off of here, so I'm gonna have to glue that down too, but I don't know what to do about that. I don't want to recover this. Like, I don't want to recover this whole thing because that is more work than I want to put into this machine to get it ready and out the door. But I am gonna have to go through and find, like, this corner here that's come unglued, and I need to glue that up. So I'm probably gonna get my wood glue, work glue into both ends of this wooden piece, put this tack back in and clamp it up, and also clamp this piece in place and glue it in place. I'm gonna find some more. I'm gonna look for some dark-headed screws that'll match this case coating. That way I can screw this back wooden piece in place to help give it a little more support after it's glued in. So, but for now, we're gonna glue this all up and let it dry. That way I have some place to keep the Necchi solid while I'm working on it. Alright. This is the bottom of the case for the Necchi BU. This piece was loose, and this base where the plug block went was also not in place. It had just been stuffed underneath the machine. The entire hinge bar here had been loose. So I went through and I glued and clamped all of this up, and then I got some trim nails and furniture tacks, because there were already furniture tacks in this case, and I added furniture tacks to hold it together. But now we have to put our some of the glue oozed into this hole. The covering on this base is coming off here, but it's not coming off on the outside, so I'm not going to peel it and recover it. I will let a future owner deal with that. And we can tap these back in place. Only one of them needed tapping. All right. And then we'll get the machine back in the case so we can start working on it. The wiring is marginal on this machine, so I will be doing plenty of work to the wiring. I think I'll end up rewiring the whole the motor and the plug block, but the lamp seems to have a good cord on it. The lamp has a 3-prong cord, which would not be original. So somebody did rewire the lamp for this machine. And the 3-prong cord does not fit in the standard control block. So that's how you know that that wasn't original. Also, I mean, this machine is of an age where they did not have 3-prong plugs. This is still old enough that they were doing, in America, they were making polarized was the first thing to come in play. Make sure that's firmly in place, and tighten the clamping screws to hold it in. And it should set right back down in there. I did notice that now that I've got the wooden bracket or the wooden base put back together, this hinge is not got good screw connections, so. But with the wooden base in place, this little lock fits in, and it's much better. All right. Well, now that we know these screws are loose, we can take our super glue and just drop a dab of super glue in the holes for the screws, and we'll make sure that that is set in there. All right. And we'll just let that super glue set. And that will hold this well enough. So, but the wiring on the motor here has a replacement plug on the end. This is a quick replacement lamp plug that you can pop the lever up, and usually the cord pulls out of these pretty easy, but anyhow, it would have come with the lever up, and you stick the cord in and pop the lever down, and it vampire connects on there. But there's a couple of rough spots on this cord, so I think I'm gonna we'll take the motor off and look to see what kind of shape it's in. But definitely the main plug block. We need to open this pedal and see what's happened to this pedal since it's been bent up so bad here. And then the end of this cord is all melted and gooey because this is an old rubber cast plug, and those just expire. So okay. Oh. Let's start with this cord by popping this pedal apart. And maybe somebody just really yanked on this cord a bunch, because I see it's tied in like that, and this end is the bent end that it went to. But some electrical tape has been applied here because oh, this is a broken controller. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to see what we can do about that. So an eval carbon control, but with this insulator broken, this foot pedal is no good. So we'll need to grab a replacement for that. However, since we're in here, we'll look at that carbon pile. Oh. Very, interesting. Well, there's these nuts here, and these are just tiny stamped nuts, and stamped nuts are good because they're very difficult to over-tighten. They tighten so far and then the threads just pop right out of them because they're stamped in. And it appears there are two screws that held that in place, and then the two screws that hold it in together. There we go. Oh yeah. When this broke, they lost so much of the carbon pile. This controller was never going to work because they put it back together with the button inside the pile. So, well, I am going to scavenge the carbon out of this broken pile so that I have it for later. And I'm going to have to get a new pedal for this machine. Which I think I have one in the stash, so we'll see what kind of shape that, or see what we can do about replacing the pedal.